Let me just give some clinical examples of extremes and then basically talk about the application to athletic performance. Let's talk about basically obesity. Well, this is Manuel Uribe. This is Manuel when he weighed 1,230 pounds, the heaviest man in the world. And the loose translation of this, I don't want to die. So we started working with Manuel about 3 years ago. And after about 18 months, there's Manuel. You can see he's still fat, even though he's lost about 400 pounds at this point in time. But now let's take a look at Manuel's blood chemistry. Very well could be the healthiest man in all of Mexico. His blood cholesterol, perfect. His HDL cholesterol, perfect. His triglycerides, they have a trained world-class athlete. His blood pressure, they have a teenager. His blood sugar, perfect. And his heart rate, even though he hadn't left his bed in 7 years, was that of a trained athlete. It's impossible to make Manuel any healthier than he is. It'll take another 5 years to get him down to his ideal weight of about 250. And this is Manuel about 30 months after we started at his wedding, where he lost about 550 pounds at this point in time. And there's our two Mexican physicians, Dr. Sylvia and Dr. Gustavo, and I'm sitting back in the background there with Manuel. And he's a pretty happy guy. Well, I would be too. One, going from what he was before to a gala wedding night with a wonderful woman. Let's go to the other extreme. About 3 years ago, there was a major mine disaster called the Sago mine disaster, when 13 miners went in, and there's a collapse, and they were exposed to a carbon monoxide atmosphere for 41 hours. No human being had ever been exposed to that much carbon monoxide for that long a period of time. When they finally broke through the mine and pulled out the one miner who was still alive, and just barely alive, there he was. That was Randall McCoy. When they pulled him out of the mine, he had kidney failure, liver failure, heart failure, and most importantly, he had brain failure. In fact, that's his brain right there, and there is no white matter in the brain to speak of. It had been destroyed by inflammation, being exposed to that carbon monoxide for 41 hours. So Randall's prognosis was, slim and none. His neurosurgeon called me up right after they pulled him out. He said, I believe in fish oil. How much should we give him? Well, I said, you're going to give him a lot. I said, he said, well, how much? I said, about 15 grams a day. He said, whoa, 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 whoa. That's a lot. I said, he's not going to die. I guarantee you. Because we'd already done studies with kids with ADHD, and they were doing fine at that level. He said, okay, we got nothing to do but try. So for the next 2 months, they fed basically Randall McCoy 15 grams of fish oil every day through his feeding tube. And 2 months after he came out of the mine, he came out of his coma. Kept on feeding the fish oil, and 2 months after that, he went home. And here's some of the commentators, who would be Sanjay Gupta or Anderson Cooper, say, it's a medical miracle. Well, that's fine in the 12th century, but we live in the 21st century. It wasn't a medical miracle. It was aggressive use of basically nutrients to reduce inflammation in the brain, in the heart, in the liver, in the kidney. And here's Randall about 2 months later after that. There's Randall and his wife, who was pregnant at the time, along with Julian Bales, who was neurosurgeon, and myself. And basically, he was in pretty good shape. The fact they had a healthy child, now they've had two, says everything seems to be working pretty well. So it wasn't a medical miracle. It was basically a very lucky phone call I got from Julian to say how much fish oil and what quality fish oil should I use to rebuild his complete body, from the brain to the heart to the liver to the kidney.